So let's start with the definition of probability. Probability is the chances of something to be happened. For example, we are rolling a die. So for rolling a die, we uh, just want to know that what result we are going to get. So the chances of getting 2 or the chances of getting 6, this is called probability, the calculation of these things. Okay, so in probability, we calculate the chances in fraction. Okay, normally in what unit do we calculate the chances? Right, Rupan? Right, Sarah? Anshra? In our daily life, in what unit do we calculate the chances of anything? Anshra, can you hear me? Mohammed Azan. Right, Bani? Mohammed Azan, what is the unit we use to calculate the chances of anything in our daily life? Zero and one, Alvina. Uh, what does it mean, Alvina? Time calculation. No, Azan. So normally we use percentages to calculate the chances in our daily life. When we talk about chances of anything to be happened, so we say that uh, this could be happen. The chances of this could be happen is 50%. For example, there is a match between two teams. There is a match between Pakistan and England. So if you want to say that Pakistan will sure win this match, so we say that there is a 100% chance of Pakistan to win this match. So normally in our daily life we use percentages as a unit of chances, but in probability we use fraction is as for calculating the chances. Okay, so we are clear. Now there is one more term we use in the topic of probability, that is sample space. Sample space is a list of all possible results or outcomes. Means that in anything we have several possibilities. For example, if there is a match between Pakistan and England, so there are several chances that could be happen as a result. So the list of all those chances are called sample space. For example, if there is a match between Pakistan and England, so just tell me that what could be the result? I'm waiting for your response. Right, Sarah. Either one of them can win, tie, or match cancel due to weather. So either Pakistan can win, England can win, it could be a tie, or it could be a cancel. So the list of these all possibilities is called sample space. Like if we are going to toss a coin, then it will be either head or tail. So the list of these two possibilities will be the sample space. How can we write these as a sample space? So the method or the pattern of writing the sample space is you can see on the screen that S is equal to brackets and the list of all possibilities and then bracket close. So this is called set notation. So we write sample space in the set notation. So this is the sample space in tossing a coin. And there is one more thing that when we write NS, so it's means that number of possible outcomes. So there are two possible outcomes. So NS is 2. Now, are we clear? If anyone has any confusion, then he can raise his hand or he can write in the chat. Okay, so for example, if we are tossing a coin, there are two possibilities. Either it will be head or it will be tail. So we write the sample space in the set notation as it is written there. There S is equal to bracket head comma tail. So we write sample space in set notation means that within the bracket we just write all the possible outcomes. This is called the sample space. And ns is representing that number of element in sample space, that how many possible outcomes do we have. So we have two possible outcomes, so we are going to write 2 in this one. So if in any case we have 4 possible outcomes, then we will write ns4. So ns is representing the count of possible outcomes. Bashur and Sarah, is it clear now? Okay, now we are moving to next slide. Now we are going to write the sample space of rolling a fair die. So what could be the result? Alishba, do you see a fair die, Alishba? Hazik, do you know what is fair? But what is a fair die? Kashish, Malaika, right, Fariha? Um, yes, partially right, Alishba, but this needs improvement. Hazik and Kashish. Okay. So a fair die is a die by which we play a Ludo game. This is a six-sided uh, die over which numbers or dots are there on each side. So first side is representing one, the second side represent two. So that one is called six-sided die. We use that one for playing Ludo, or there are more many games by which by in which we are used this fair die. Now, get it? Okay, so when we roll a six-sided fair die, so the possibilities could be either it could be one, two, three, or four, five, or six. So these are the sample space. This is the sample space in rolling a fair die, and number of sample space is six. So Alishba, you write six. So six is the number of sample space, but the list of sample space is different. So sample space is different, and number of sample space is different. So when we talk about the sample space, so it means that we need all the possible outcomes. And when we write number of sample space, so it means that we just need the count of sample space. So ns is six, and s is in within the bracket all six possible outcomes. Are we clear till there? Kashish, did you get it? Hazik, you did not reply. Okay, now event. The term event we use for the required outcome. For example, we are rolling a die. So there are six possible outcomes. But we are going to calculate the probability of getting two. So two is our required outcome, and other than two, these are just outcomes. So our event will be two. Are we clear? Okay, so the probability of an event is denoted by P bracket E. So P bracket is representing that probability of event. So event could be any outcome. And the formula of calculating the probability is number of event over number of total possible outcomes. Now, how do we use that formula for calculating probability will be in the next slide. Now, this time you are just going to note it down that the formula of probability is that number of event divided by number of outcomes. So whenever we divide number of event by the number of total outcomes, that will be the probability of that event. Okay, now there are few properties uh, before practicing the questions of probability. The first property of probability that it must lies between 0 and 1. So probability of an event can never be more than 1, and probability of an event can also never be less than 0, means negative. So probability can never be negative with negative sign, or and can never be more than 1. Now, if the probability of anything to be happen, if the event is impossible, so the probability of that event is 0. And if event is for sure going to be happen, then probability will be 1. So 1 is like 100% in probability. Is it clear? Furkan, is it clear? Mahin, is it clear? Okay, what I want to say that if in the question you are getting the negative answer of or negative probability of anything, then it means that you are doing it wrong. So probability can never be negative. And if you are getting the probability of any event is 2 or 3 or 4, so that answer is also wrong, because the maximum possibility of anything to be happen is 1. So 1 is like 100%. So there is no more than 100% in the chances. Yes, but should we are coming to towards that one, we can get 0. 0.6. But now, when we talk about the fraction, Malaika, is it clear now? Okay, now when we talk about the fraction, so what does it mean by 1? In fraction, you have you have a value in two parts. The upper parts, that one is called numerator, and the lower part, that one is called denominator. So, what is the meaning of 1? Or what is the meaning of more than 1 in fraction? What is the meaning of more than 1? Furkan, it is not the complete answer. Yes, Sarah. What is the meaning of more than 1 in fraction? Mashhoor. I'm asking that if we are saying that probability can never be more than one, so in fraction, what is the meaning of more than one? If something is written like x over y, so how can we find out that this is more than one or this is less than one? Yasin, not completely correct. Okay, so when we write fraction, so in fraction there are two parts. The one which is written over the line is called numerator, and the one which is written uh, below the line is called denominator. So when numerator, the one which is written above the line, numerator is greater than the denominator, then it is called more than one. So always remember that in the probability, whenever you get the answer, so whatever is written above the line must be smaller than the denominator, right? If in any question you are getting the answer of probability in such a way that the numerator is greater than the denominator, so you must get that you did something wrong. Now, am I clear? Now, is it making a sense? So, while taking a test or solving the exams, you must remember this thing that in probability, in no negative probability, no negative answer. If you are solving something and you are getting negative answer, so there must be something wrong. So, no negative answer and no answer will have numerator, the value of numerator more than the value of denominator. So, numerator is always smaller than the denominator in probability. Now, we are going to take the example of one question. Okay, in case of meeting and you all are going to rejoin by using the same link. Now, example is a card is drawn at random from a box. You have a box, and in that box, 12 cards are there, and on each card, a number is written from 1 till 12, right? And now we are going to pick one card out of that box. So what is the probability that we pick a card over which a number 7 is written? So first, the sample space of this case is, right, Hamza. So there are total 12 possibilities because there are 12 cards. So does anyone have any problem with the number of possible outcomes with NS? Mustafa Badr. Okay, so total possibilities, total possible outcomes in this case is 12 because we have 12 cards. And how many cards do we have over which a number 7 is written? Natalia, Mustafa Badr. How many cards do we have over which 7 is written? Right, Furkan? Jibanin, only 7, because we are going to calculate the probability of 7. Right, Sarah? Right, Yasin, good. So we have one card over which 7 is written, and we have total 12 cards. So probability, the formula of probability is NE over NS. So it will be, the probability will be 1 over 12, because we have one card of 7 and total cards are 12. Now, anyone has any confusion? Natalia, are you there? Mustafa Badr, can you both hear me? Good. Did you get this one? Okay, that's good, Mustafa. Okay, now we are moving to next part. And in next part, what is the probability of getting an even number? So we have 12 cards, and on each card we have a number from 1 till 12. Now from 1 till 12, how many even number do we have? Okay, let's have a look. So cards with even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Right, Furkan and Natalia? Right, Sarah? So there are 6 cards over which we have even number. So number of event is 6, and the probability will be 6 over 12. So 6 is the number of event, because we have 6 even cards and total cards are 12. So it is 6 over 12. And this 6 over 12 can also be written 1 over 2. If we reduce this one, then this will becomes 1 over 2. Okay, now a prime number. How many prime numbers, how many cards do we have over which a prime number is written? Right, Mashood? Yasin, you missed someone. Right, Alishba, but there's mistake. Hamza Jilani, you missed something, I guess. Right, Natalia? Yasin is still missing 2 cards. Right, Faria? Okay, so there are 5 cards: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. And always remember that in our course in O level mathematics, 1 is not considered as a prime number, right? So among the mathematicians, it is a conflict about that, whether 1 is a prime number or not. But in 4024, it is a policy that when we don't consider 1 a prime number. So 1 is not a prime number. So never consider 1 a prime number. So start counting your prime number from 2, right? So there are 5 prime numbers, and okay, so let's start with the prime number. So there are 5 prime numbers. So it's mean that 5 possibilities are there. Let me start chat. And total possibilities will be 5 over 12. Okay, any confusion with this one? Good. Now, what is the probability of getting a card with negative number? Right, Hamza. Right, Furqan. Maheen. What do you think? Right, Alishba. Right, Sarah. Right, Natalia. Right, Maheen. So there is no negative number. So the number of event is zero, and the probability of an even number of a negative number is zero. There is a mistake. It is written even number, but actually this is a negative number. Okay, now a number less than 8. So what is how many cards do we have over which a number less than 8 is written? Yes, Mashud, right. Uh, Hamza, why 8 over 12? You can't buy 3 over 12. Malaika, why one card? Right, Hamza. Right, Mashud and Sarah. Right, Azan. Right, Furqan. So there are 7 cards over which uh, number less than 8 is written. Right, Bunny? So from 1 till 7, these all numbers are less than 7, and 8 is not less than 8. Sorry, 1 to 7 will be all number less than 8. So number of event is 7, and the probability will be 7 over 12. Any confusion with this one? Okay, that's good. Now probability of not event. For example, probability of any event is given, and probability we are going to calculate the probability of that event not to be happened. Then how can we calculate the probability of that event not to be the probability of any event not to be happened? So this is called probability of not event. Okay, for example, if I say that the chances of raining today is 60%. The chances of raining today is 60%. So what will be the chances of not raining today? Right. So you all are getting the answer 40%. Why 40%? Yes, right. Why 40%? We subtract the percentage, given percentage of that thing to be happened from 100%. Right? Yes. So that's why we get 40. Uh, in probability, what is the 100%? Right, again. Right, right. So one is the 100% of probability. So if we want to get the probability of not event, then we subtract the probability from the one. This is the formula. So probability of not event is equal to 1 minus probability of that event. So when we subtract the probability of any event from 1, then we get the probability of that event not to be happened. For example, the probability of catching a bus is given 2 over 5. Right? If someone is going to school or to office and he catches a bus daily from the stop, then catching a bus on several days, the probability is 2 over 5. Now we are going to calculate. We are going to calculate that what is the probability of not getting a bus. So it will be yes, right, Hamza. So it will be 1 minus 2 over 5 is equal to 3 over 5. Because does anyone have any problem in subtracting this one in the subtraction? Does anyone have any confusion or any problem in this subtraction? Okay, that's good. And now combined events. So till now, whatever we have learned are the single events. Single event means that we are going to do one thing, or we are going to focus one event. That we are picking one card, we are rolling one die, we are tossing one coin. So in this one, in all the things we are focusing on, we are doing one thing. So this is called single events. Now combined events, that whenever we combine two or more events together, then it is called combined events, right? So when multiple events occur at the same time, then we call it combined events. For example, there is a box and we are not drawing one card, we are not picking one card, so we are picking two cards out of that box. So this is called combined events. Now any confusion with this one? So picking two cards, picking one card and rolling a die together, or rolling a die and tossing a coin together, so doing more than one thing is called combined events. Okay, now when we pick two cards and there is a box, and in that box we have four cards, and on each card a number is written, and the numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8. And we are going to draw two cards out of that box. So what could be the possible result? Either we pick the cards over which the number is written 2 and 4, right? Or it could be 2 and 6, or it could be 2 and 8, or 4 and 6, and 4 and 8, and 6 and 8. These all are the possibilities. These all could be the possibilities. Any confusion with this sample space? Guys, can you hear me? Furkan. Okay, so we are taking this one, an example. Uh, in that example, four cards are there in a box, and on each card a number is written 2, 3, 5, and 8. Now we are picking two cards, and by using these two cards, we are making a number, right? So first, we are going to list all the sample space. That's what could be the possibility. Now I just want you all to write the possibilities. If you are taking two cards or two numbers out of 2, 3, 5, and 8, so what number or what are possible numbers could be formed? Okay, you have 90 seconds for doing this. No, Furkan, that must be more than six. Hamza, we are making a number here, so there, that should be not comma between 2 and 3 and not and. So if someone pick 2 first and then 3, so it will becomes 23. So we are going to form our number here. In the last example, in this one, we just pick our two cards. We did not form a number. And in this one, we are forming a number. So 2 and 3 becomes 23. So 2 and 3 is one possibility, and 3 and 2 is another possibility. So 2 and 3 is 23, and 3 and 2 is 32. Not Furkan, that are too much. Yes, Yasin, it is almost correct, but there's some numbers are missing, and there should not be and between two numbers. So 2 and 3 can should be written as 23, not 2 and 3. Uh, right, Hamza, except. Okay, so let's have a look. A sample space could be 23, 25, 28, 32, 35, 38, 52, 53, 58, and 82, 83, 85. So 12 possibilities are there. Okay, any confusion with this one? Okay, in first part, we are going to calculate the probability that number is odd. So in this sample space, how many odd numbers do we have? All right, 6 odd numbers. So the probability will be 6/12, and that will be reduced as 1/2. Right? Any confusion with this one? Okay, now you all are gonna try these. Uh, okay, so note these part, and you all are gonna try these at your home, and